Hello guys, Eddie Gardner here, and today I've got something extremely special to show you. This is my copy, my very own copy of Papa Roach's 2002 album LoveHateTragedy. It's an excellent follow-up to its predecessor Infest, which was released in 2000, the year before I was born. This one, however, was released the year after I was born. And this one is an excellent album. And not only is it their, I would say their best album. Well, it's not their best-selling album, but I would say it is their best, in my opinion. It's also the second and last release to from Papa Roach to be released in the New Zealand and included in the New Zealand charts. Well, it's not their last to be released worldwide, but it is the last to be included in the New Zealand charts, although it failed to receive a certification or anything. So it didn't do particularly well, but this album is well worth a listen. So what I've got here is the international version. And this is why it's got parental advisory explicit content on the cover. Because that's what international imports would use. But the Australasian edition of that album would have, instead of that warning, this recording contains explicit language. Yeah, I actually do have a photo of the Australian, Australasian even, release of that album. And so I'll show it to you later on in the video. But anyway, back to this album now, and this is an absolute cracker of an album. You know, I could almost compare it with my other favourite all-time album, Linkin Park's 2000 debut album, also released the same year as Papa Roach's Infest, Hybrid Theory. I mean, that one is an excellent album, along with Papa Roach's Infest, but this one is even better. So we have Hybrid Theory from Linkin Park coming in at top position. Then this is LoveHateTragedy by Papa Roach coming in close behind. And then there's Infest by Papa Roach. Those albums are my top three albums. I also love The Hunting Party by Linkin Park. But anyway, this album is by far my favourite Papa Roach album. And it's got some kick-ass songs on it, you know, like She Loves Me Not. I mean, that is my favourite Papa Roach song. But it didn't used to be when I was a little bit stuck on Between Angels and Insects, which comes from the Infest album. And a little bit on Last Resort. But, I mean, with that one, you know, it's just driven me, you know, a bit mental, that song. And so now I've got a little bit sick of it. But this album, however, is my favourite Papa Roach album, like I said. It's got some excellent tracks on it. Right now, I'll show you this track listing here. MAD Explosive Energy Movement, Life is a Bullet, Time and Time Again. Three very underrated songs. And then you've got Walking Through Barbed Wire, which, along with She Loves Me Not, was originally recorded in 1999 for one of the band's independent releases from Papa Roach. And then Decompression Period, Born With Nothing, Die With Everything. And then She Loves Me Not, which had also been re-recorded and improved specifically for its release as a single. And for the album in 2002. And then the last 4 tracks: Singular Indestructible Droid, Black Clouds, Code of Energy, and Love Hate Tragedy. But yeah, what's also different about this album is not just because there is not a lot of rapping compared to Infest, but this album is it's also a little bit different with its track listing, because Papa Roach, this time they put the title track right at the end, the very end, whereas on Infest they put it right at the very start. So the Infest track, they put that one right at the very start, and but on this one, Love Hate Tragedy, the title track is right at the end. Now, I'm sorry to say, but this album actually failed to outsell Infest, which I was sad about. And it did not do as well as Infest. It did not sell as well. But indeed, it is my favourite from them. And when I picked up my copy of this album in March this year, I was going online to discount CDs on Trade Me. And this is where I received the CD from, was that company there. And it was for a cost of $24. Yeah, incredible. I'm so sorry. $24.90, which is not bad for a CD that had been waiting to be played since 2002. And it was also an American import, even though it says on this one that it was made in the EU. That it should have said in the description box of the item that it was a US import, yeah, an American import. And not only is this released the last 2 feature in the New Zealand charts by Papa Roach, it's also their last under DreamWorks Records. You see right there. They also released Infest, its predecessor, under DreamWorks Records. But then DreamWorks Records was being absorbed by Geffen Records in 2003, which Papa Roach were signed under for their future albums, Getting Away with Murder, the Paramore Sessions, and also their greatest hits album, To Be Loved, the best of Papa Roach. So Geffen had to end up absorbing DreamWorks for a heck of a lot of money. And it was in 2003 that happened, and then the company finally got pulled down in 2005. And so I'm sad to have broken that news, but that is quite a shame, really. Right now I'm going to take you through to looking at the Australasian cover of this album. Alright guys, so this is the Australasian release of the album Love Hate Tragedy by Papa Roach. And the cover is slightly, well, the same, but slightly different from the international version. And instead of featuring parental advisory explicit content like the international version on the right hand side of the front booklet, it features a warning: this recording contains explicit language. And this sounds a bit more, clear to parental advisory explicit content. And yeah, This was also used on Infest by Papa Roach, parental advisory, as well as on Getting Away with Murder, the Paramore sessions, and Metamorphosis, also by Papa Roach, along with their greatest hits album. So those 6 releases, along with Love Hate, 5 releases, along with Love Hate Tragedy, were all to contain a parental advisory sticker on the right hand side of the front booklet. But in Australasia, they would have warning: this recording contains explicit language. Well, for the Australasian releases, they would have had that, or for the later ones, warning: moderate impact, coarse language, and or themes. So the design is still quite attractive. I actually do like this design a bit more to the cover of the international version. But it is still the same design, although it features a different advisory rating logo on the cover. It features the Australasian version. And so inside right now, we've got the CD. And it features different different text to the international version, and also differently coloured text. So it's got white text on the edges of the CD that goes round in a circle. Then on the international version, and the DreamWorks Records logo is also placed in the centre of the CD, rather than on the bottom right, along with the Papa Roach logo and the Love Hate Tragedy words. But yeah, this is still an elegant design, although I do love the international version, but I think this design of the CD looks a little bit more appealing to me. And so right now we got the track listing, and on the bottom corner, not the bottom corner, but the bottom of the track listing, you'll see that the physical address for the DreamWorks Records headquarters is present, and also the fact that that version was made in Australia and marketed in Australasia by Universal Music Australia, instead of DreamWorks Records, because DreamWorks Records was, well, it isn't now, a member of Universal Music, which is really interesting. And also on the Infest cover, the same applies to the Infest cover of the Australasian release. That'll have warning: this recording contains explicit language, but instead of a square, it'll have a rounded rectangle. And it also say on the back that the CD was made in Australia, and marketed in Australasia under exclusive license. And it'll also have a similar design to the international CD disc label, but again, it might be slightly different, a little bit like this one. And you can also see the Papa Roach logo as it stands out a little bit more on this version of the CD than the actual international one. Alright, so that's enough said. Let's get back to the video. Alrighty guys, so in the last segment that I did of this video, I forgot to inform you that major retailers for CDs in New Zealand did actually sell this album, well, the Australasian print of this album, LoveHateTragedy by Papa Roach, along with their major label debut and Fest, which I'll go and get now. But it's been a long time since they did, and things have really changed about CDs now that compared to what happened in the past. But yeah, what do I like better? Either this one or this one? Well, that's an easy decision. I'll definitely have to go for this one. But yeah, they did used to sell in Fest at Kmart in the warehouse, Papa Roach and Fest, as well as LoveHateTragedy. I mean, those two albums are very underrated. And I've also got their latest album, Crooked Teeth, which is probably my least favourite. But indeed, I do like this one better. Yeah, LoveHateTragedy. And Fest comes in close behind. And so what, very quickly before I close this video down, a lot of people have been criticising this image here of the cockroach. And this image here of the baby rocking out. But yeah, these two albums are unexpectedly underrated. However, I do prefer this one definitely over this one for some particular reason. But I'm not sure why. I would say it's just my personal opinion. Well, everybody's got different personal opinions. And forgot to mention in the last segment of the video that the warehouse and Kmart, major CD retailers in New Zealand, forgot to sell these two Papa Roach albums. And so I was actually doing a review on this one, but I bought this one here just to show you the difference between these two albums by Papa Roach. But anyway, this is the CD. It looks a little bit different to this one. Well, this one looks a little bit different to that one. And so you can get a better look. This CD has also got quite a lot of scratches. But yeah, again, these two albums are definitely very underrated. So I did mention that major retailers across the country would have sold these two Papa Roach albums along with the earlier works of Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit and other new metal stuff. But anyway, if this album's not much new metal, then that's the one I go for. And then this one coming in close behind. Alrighty guys, so that is my review on Papa Roach's LoveHateTragedy album. I gave you a sneak peek of Infest at the end. And thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.